Ye shall not eat any detestable thing. Reading from Deuteronomy chapter 14, verses 3 through 21. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verses 3 through 21. You shall not eat any detestable thing. These are the animals which you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roe deer, the wild goat, the mountain goat, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. And you may eat every animal with cloven hooves, having the hoof split into two parts, and that chews the cud among the animals. Nevertheless, those that chew the cud or have cloven hooves, you shall not eat, such as these: the camel, the hare, and the rock hyrax, for they chew the cud, but do not have cloven hooves. They are unclean for you. Also the swine is unclean for you, because it has cloven hooves, yet does not chew the cud. You shall not eat their flesh, or touch their dead carcass. These you may eat: all that are in the waters. You may eat all that have fins and scales. And whatever does not have fins and scales, you may not eat. It is unclean for you. All clean birds you may eat, but these you shall not eat: the eagle, the vulture, the buzzard, the red kite, the falcon, and the kite after their kind, every raven after its kind, the ostrich, the short-eared owl, the seagull, and the hawk after their kind, the little owl, the screech owl, the white owl, the jackdaw, the carrion vulture, the fisher owl, the stork, the heron after its kind, and the hoopoe and the bat. Also every creeping thing that flies is unclean for you. They shall not be eaten. You may eat all clean birds. You shall not eat anything that dies of itself. You may give it to the alien who is within your gates, and he may eat it. Or you may sell it to a foreigner. For you are a holy people to Yah Almighty. You shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. And Yah spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying unto them, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, These are the animals which you may eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Among the beasts, whatever divides the hoof, having cloven hooves and chewing the cud, that you may eat. Nevertheless, these you shall not eat among those that chew the cud, or those that have cloven hooves. The camel, because it chews the cud but does not have cloven hooves, is unclean to you. The rock hyrax, because it chews the cud but does not have cloven hooves, is unclean to you. The hare, because it chews the cud but does not have cloven hooves, is unclean to you. And the swine, though it divides the hoof, having cloven hoofs, yet does not chew the cud, is unclean to you. Their flesh you shall not eat, and their carcass you shall not touch. They are unclean to you. These you may eat of all that are in the water. Whatever in the water has fins and scales, whether in the seas or in the rivers, that you may eat. But all in the seas or in the rivers that do not have fins and scales, all that move in the water, or any living thing which is in the water, they are an abomination to you. They shall be an abomination to you. You shall not eat their flesh, but you shall regard their carcasses as an abomination. Whatever is in the water that does not have fins or scales, that shall be an abomination to you. So far, I've just read from Deuteronomy chapter 14, verses 3 through 21, and Leviticus chapter 11, verse 1 through 12. Okay? And I hope you're writing these scriptures down so you can go back and study them for yourself. It's very important. It's very important. We as new African Hebrews, the descendants of Hebrew slaves here in America, we need to go back and do serious research of the holy scriptures of the Bible. When I say the holy scriptures of the Bible, I'm not talking about that New Testament. I mean everything from Genesis to Malachi, the last book of our Hebrew scriptures, the last book of our Bible, the book of Malachi. I'm not talking about Revelation. Because what you got to understand is that the Euro-Gentile has tampered with our sacred text. And they concocted their own text, their own scriptures. They plagiarized from the Hebrew scriptures and came up with a new Greek scripture, which is called the New Testament. We have no idea who authored these books. I like to call it the X-Files, because we don't know who the authors are. All we know is that these heathens, these Gentiles, came up with this New Testament in order to overthrow the sacred law of the book of remembrance, to overthrow the book of the law. They came up with a totally lawless philosophy, Greek philosophy, that they call the New Testament. So make sure that you write these scriptures down that we're going over. Write them down. Go back and do your research. Make sure that when you run across words, you Google the word, look up the word, get the meaning of the word, so that you can understand your Hebrew heritage. This Bible, the so-called Old Testament, is our Black history book. This is our African Hebrew heritage. I keep telling y'all, the grace period is up. 2019 done slipped up on a lot of y'all. Because Almighty y'all not playing. Y'all done caught these chickens. The time of the Gentiles has come to an end. That foolishness you were taught up in these whorehouses you call the church. Listening to what Apostle Paul said, talking about we no longer under the law. We under grace. That's what's going to get a lot of you black Christians, falsely so-called, going to get a lot of people killed. Apostle Paul's false doctrine is going to get a whole host of you Hebrews killed. Apostle Paul wasn't even talking to the Jews. Apostle Paul wasn't talking to you. Apostle Paul was a false prophet. He wasn't even sent to you. The prophet Yeshua, whom you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, he told his disciples, don't go nowhere near the Gentiles, teaching them nothing. The Apostle Paul took it upon himself to go to these heathens and teach them all the lies that the European Gentile church fathers inherited. It's prophesied right here in the sacred scriptures of the Bible. What you call the Old Testament, the Gentiles got you calling our sacred scriptures the Old Testament, but that's not what it's called. It's called the Book of Remembrance, people. That's what it's called. Don't be calling our scriptures the Old Testament. This ain't no Old Testament, because the new covenant that it speaks of is just a carbon copy of the Old Covenant. Except this time it's going to be written on our hearts. That's why it's called the Book of Remembrance. The most holy law of Yah is going to be upon our hearts and minds. That's why Malachi is called the Book of Remembrance. Open your Bible to the Holy Scriptures, if you will. And when I say the Holy Scriptures, I'm not talking about the Christians' New Testament either.